Bulldozers and construction cranes have become commonplace here on the Suncoast. And to help us find out what is the latest that's being built, we welcome our development expert, Candace McAlia. Now, Candace, it's hard to think of development without controversy.
That's true. That's true. Like Longboat Key, you know, there's always people that don't want it, and then there's always people that want it. So, but let's talk about Whole Foods because I want it.
There's a lot of controversy with that one.
But it's over. The challenge has been dismissed, and all permits have been received. The Army Corps of Engineers have approved it. SWIFMA has approved it. State and local municipalities have approved it, and it's coming. So
you saw better parking places than
the parking lot should be fabulous. And listen to this. You're getting the scoop first here. Every spot is leased in this center except for one remaining space.
Wow.
So
and I just want to say
that Honor A and University.
And these are rendering of what it will look like. So it's not the actual thing yet. And what was the controversy behind it? Because, you know, right now I guess it's like a wetland.
Well, it's a degraded 4 acres of a wetland site, but when you look at how to get those approvals in place, there's so many regulations and restrictions on where you can build in the county and in the state for that matter, and this developer really took 2 years to go through the entire process and get it done correctly. So really exciting that they're going to break ground this fall, and it should be open by October, November of 2017.
All right.
So really, really exciting.
So new Whole Foods close to University or off University. And then the next thing that a lot of people have been talking about is Bayfront 2020. A lot of conversation going on with that. When is it going to stop being conversation and then building?
So that's a great question, and I think it's important to point out that, you know, with downtown construction and other places, you see things popping up all the time. And on the Bayfront, we've been talking about it for a long time, but nothing's popping up. But that's because there's a lot of things that have to get put in place before they can actually break ground and do any construction. So right now, they're still working on putting together a planning organization and finding an executive director for that organization to actually put some concrete steps in place for us to start to move forward. They've identified they've identified some guiding principles that the community wants. They want it to be connected, they want it to be activated, they want it to be a great area that the entire community can enjoy. That's also going to maintain some of those magnificent views of the Bay. The best real estate really in the region is right there.
It's just got to be open to the public.
That's right. It's got to be open to the public and beautiful where we can all enjoy those.
I think that's why it's a good thing that they're taking so much time to plan it and make sure they have a plan that everyone wants, because there's so much at stake with that last bit of land that everyone can see.
Absolutely.
Another controversial issue has been Siesta Key Beach Road over there.
Yes.
A lot of protests have been going on the weekends and things like that to keep that road from becoming privatized. What's happening with that?
There's a lot of misinformation out there about Beach Road, and there was just a county commission meeting in which they discussed this. But basically, the neighbors who live there want to permanently vacate the road, which means it would be open to the public as a public access easement forever. And so the opponents of that want it to be paved and want it to be open to vehicular traffic, which really, if you've lived here, like I've lived here my entire life, and you know this road has always been open to the public. You've been able to walk there, walk your dogs there,
used to have
enjoy it.
Where you could take your dog into the ocean.
Exactly. So by permanently vacating the road, which is what the county commission is doing, it will maintain that public access in perpetuity forever. So I think there's a lot of misinformation about this Reopen Beach Road campaign, which would pave it and open it to cars. And so I think people, before they protest and before they get involved in that, they really should understand the facts and understand that their public access would go away.
Well, isn't part of the concern is that now that residents will have the full lot of land and now be able to build, if they choose further on in a couple of years, build up to the end of that line?
They would be able to build on the not golf side of the road.
Yeah, so isn't that the issue? Because if you do give them access to the road, they now have the ability to build something on the other side, which would block the beach.
Well, you're not giving them access to the road, they're vacating the road. So that means they're dedicating the road to the public forever. So the residents would be allowed to build on just their land, and then which they already can do, and the other side of the road would be permanently protected. So you'll always have those views of the beach.
Some very famous people there, like Bob Harrigan used to live there.
Yeah.
Really?
Right on the edge. All right, well, thank you so much, Candace. We appreciate all of the updates. We love it. And next, we're celebrating a big birthday. We'll tell you all about our plans coming up.